Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar The Last Airbender Season 3, Episode 21. Yes, it's the last episode of the season and the last episode of the series. I am excited. I am conflicted because yes, I love this series and I love it a lot. And I want to see the end of said series. I want to see it. And what I have been seeing in the last four episodes, well, the last three episodes. This is the fourth one. Has been something that is building up to something amazing, and I want to see said amazing thing. But I'm conflicted because this is the last episode of the series, and as always with with great series, you want it to end, but you don't want them to end at the same time. It's weird because you want to keep enjoying all this episode, all these adventures, all these problems, all everything that is going around in this series. You want to keep enjoying it, but obviously we need to stop at a certain time if we don't want to become the Simpsons. And yes, I don't think I have to clarify why I'm referring to this. So yes, I really wanted to see this, and obviously yes, hopefully it's going to be a great ending. Obviously, that is going to be on par with what we have seen so far of the series. Um, a few days ago, I posted a question in Twitter. I still haven't checked all the answers, obviously, about what shall I do about this series? What shall I do after this series? And I'm gonna to repeat it here in case you didn't saw the Twitter. You put your answer in this place. Do you want me to react to the terrible live action movie? Or do you want me to react to the, I don't know if it's a sequel or it's another spin-off with the Avatar with, oh god, I don't remember the other one. Well, the next series of Avatar, there is another one. I don't remember the name of the series. So if you want me to do that, just let me know in the comments or go to the Twitter and let me know there. Oh yes, I want you to suffer through the terrible movie and see the next Avatar series. Or no, it's okay, it's fine. I don't want to even to remember that movie and the series. Yeah, sure, react to it. So yes, again, let me know your opinion in here in the comments, or let me know your opinion in the Twitter. I'm gonna check both, and I'm going to decide if I will submit myself to that terrible movie, because yes, that movie is infamous for that. It's just awful. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit curious. I am a bit of fan of bad movies. uh, I enjoy bad movies, so that's why I'm curious. But I don't know if this is going to be one of that is so bad that is good, that is funny because it's absolutely ridiculous, or it's so bad that I'm going to be screaming by the end of the movie. So I don't know. And if you know, please don't spoil it to me, because I am kind of curious and I'm more inclined to watch the terrible movie. But let me know your decision in the comments below or in the Twitter that I posted a few days ago. And obviously, let me know what you think about me reacting to the next series of Avatar. I don't remember the name of the series, but the next series. I think you know what I mean. Hopefully, you know what I mean. Or if there is something else you want me to check about Avatar and about The Last Airbender, that's something that I haven't seen, please let me know. I know there are comics about this series, and I'm going to try to find them and read them, because yes, this is a fascinating universe. This is something I have said a ton of times before, and I want to know more about this universe. But anyway, I think I'm starting to ramble way too much. I don't think you're here to hear me rambling. I think you're here to see me react to the next episode. So yeah, let's waste no more time and watch the last episode of the series, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched several times the last episode of the series, the last episode of Avatar, and literally the last episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, Again, it's kind of bittersweet because I have spent a lot of time in this series. I have analyzed episode by episode, I have seen the adventures, I have seen the growth of all the characters, and I have met the villains, and even they are fascinating. Every single character within the story, but at least important to the story, is just amazing. It's just a great character, and it's not just because they fulfill their function as characters. No, they went even deeper than that. The villains were great, they're just not one-dimensional. The heroes were great, not just one-dimensional again. And I repeat this a lot. I repeat this, the importance of characters with character, with depth, with something else, not just caricatures of characters. No, they needed this depth. For it to be as fascinating as it was, this series, I mean, it needed all of that. And this is something I have said before. This is something that I have mentioned in previous occasions. Even if you have the greatest plot that you could ever conceive, if your characters are boring, your story is not going to be interesting. And even if you have the most mundane plot you could ever think of, but your characters are great, then your story is going to be just remembered by that, by the amazingness of the characters. Avatar: The Last Airbender had both a great plot to save the world and a world that was well developed, because yeah, even the world of Avatar is a great character. For all the little details, for all the little difference that we saw in different cultures, in different people, even the world was a great character. And that was a great plot, trying to find that balance, not just to destroy the invasive nation, in this case the Fire Nation. Not only that, but they look for balance of the world. It is something different. Again, the plot was fantastic, the plot was there. And then you complement with characters, or hell, the plot complement the characters. I think that's more accurate to say. The characters started like any other character in any other animation, or any other story. But that's great. You give characters that are funny, that are interesting, that have potential, and you start with that. You don't start with the big guns. You start kind of low, because yeah, the first episode it was more of a Aang having fun, Aang being this child that he could never be. He could never was, sorry. But then you start to develop something else, and give it more characters, and give it growth, and give it characteristics, that even by the end you start to understand how they will react, how it makes sense for them to react in a certain way. And that was Aang. And not only Aang, that was Katara too, that was Zuko, that was Sokka, that was Toph when she was introduced, even Suki, even if we didn't see her as much as perhaps I wanted to, it was great. She has her own personality. Everybody has their own personalities. And the reactions they have to different circumstances were very close to their personalities. And it was not strange. It was, okay, this doesn't make sense for them to be reacting this way, or it doesn't make sense for them to be doing this stuff. No, everything makes sense. And not just for the characters, but for the moment that event happened. Because yes, it's not the same how we start with Katara, how we start with Aang, how we start with Sokka and Zuko, by the middle, how they develop, how they behave, how they move around, and by the end, there were different types of characters with similar characteristics, but with growth, and that's what makes them different. And that's why make them unique. And this series did that. And yes, I am just speaking about the series in general and not this episode, and there is a reason why. But obviously, this is the last episode of the series, so I think this is the great opportunity to sing the praises of this amazing series. Because again, It's not just one episode, it's not just two episodes. And yes, there are episodes that are more important or at least more impactful in a certain way. But overall, the entire series never, at least I don't think it never suffered from a bad episode. There were lesser episodes, as the Canyon episode, as we know. But even within that episode, we got something of out of it. We got something. We got an ally. We got a responsibility. We got a new characteristic. We got something out of every single episode. And there are a lot of series who will love to have the quality of the worst episode, or what is considered the worst episode of the series. That's how good this series is. Their lesser episodes are great. The greater episodes of the series are just amazing, mind-blowing. So that's Avatar, and that's why the reputation of this great series, of this amazing series, still holds. Even good, I don't know, 10 years after the release of the series, 15 years after the release of the series, and it still holds that magic. It's timeless. And that is the reason why. A great script, great characters, and great plot. Everything came together to create this masterpiece. Now, let's move to specific points of the episode, because again, I am not going to bore you with the step-by-step recreation of the episode, no. This episode, again, it was the contrast of the last episode. When last episode finished bad, this episode finished good, for the heroes, obviously. And the spare moments of defeat for the Fire Lord in the last episode changed for the last few moments of Aang being defeated in this episode. Again, it was a clash not only of power, but within ideologies and willpower. Why I said this? The will of the Fire Lord is just to destroy everything that opposes him. Is to crush the world because the world is not accepting you as their overlord. That was the point of the Fire Lord. That was his will. The will of Aang is to restore balance, but without sacrificing his own soul, his own mental health, let's say. And the turtle was a nice point for it to be avoided. The battle here is more of a will battle, because in the moment that Aang returned to the Avatar state, thanks to that hitting his back, the point in which he hit it was when the thunder destroy, or well, not destroy, when the thunder attack, where the thunder attack is in the moment, I don't know, perhaps he's lost kind of making contact with the chakra, one of the points that was blocked back then. In the moment that the rock touched that blocked chakra, again, this is just a speculation on my behalf. I'm not saying, oh, this is the fact. No, this is what I think happened. In the moment that the chakra was touched, it kind of was released, and all the energy of the previous avatar was now going back to Aang. He now had control of the avatar state, because yes, I think Aang can control the avatar state now. That's what I think. And in the moment that happened, Ozai lost, because obviously Ozai can control fire, and he is a master at controlling fire. But Aang, by that moment, had control of the four elements, the ones that are strong against fire, and the ones that make the fire stronger. And he has the knowledge of the thousands of previous avatars, so he now can fully control all the elements. And besides, obviously, the fact that Aang can control the elements beforehand, because yeah, perhaps he's not the level of master outside of the air, But he can control the other elements, and now thanks to the knowledge of the previous avatars, he can control even better the other elements. I think that's the best way to portray this. In question of power, there is no doubt that Aang was the most powerful in that moment. Because yes, the last part of the battle between Ozai and Aang were just Aang absolutely humiliating Ozai. Ozai was just running away, trying to escape the power of an avatar. In that moment, if this was just a battle of power, Ozai already lost. He was running away. There is no other way around. But this was not it. It was a battle of wills. And we saw that just before the moment that Aang was about to finish the Fire Lord. And this is why I said that he had control over the Fire State, the Avatar State. Because he decided to stop himself from killing another human being, even if this human being is trash, is worse, is a psychopath, is a murderer, he's everything. He wanted to forgive him. Well, not forgive him, forgive his life. And in the moment there, when we saw, obviously, alongside with the words of this giant lion turtle, said, okay, this is a battle of wills. For you to bend energy, for you to bend the soul of this person, your soul must be unbendable. So I guess in this state is vulnerable. The person that wants to bend the energy and take away the energy for bending fire in this case was still in danger if his will was weaker than the will of the other person. And luckily, obviously, the will of Aang was stronger. And he defeated the Fire Lord in the most humiliating way possible. Because by the mentality of the Fire Lord, by the mentality of what we have seen in the previous season, in all the seasons, in every moment that the Fire Lord was mentioned, in every moment the Fire Lord appeared, he obviously believes himself superior to everybody, thanks to his fire bending. Because this is a philosophy that been kind of in the family of these Fire Lords, from Ozai, in the previous one, Azulon, if I'm not mistaken, and up to Sosen. I almost forgot the first Fire Lord that started the war. Sosen. Everybody believes that the fire is the most powerful element, and it's been portrayed in the soldiers and all of that. But obviously, the family that started all was obviously this family, the Fire Lord Ozai's family. Not him, but previously. And thanks to this mentality, obviously this is kind of a snowball that is increasing and increasing and increasing to reach the point in which, yeah, the Fire Lord was believing that not only the fire bending was stronger, but him as the Fire Lord was the strongest. And by taking away this fire bending is one of the most humiliating things that you could do to this pathetic person. Because now he is pathetic, in my opinion. Without his fire bending, he has to live with this idea that he no longer is that big man that he believes himself to be. He is the little man that he always was. And nowadays, this humiliation is eating him inside. Even if we don't see that, even if it's not completely portrayed in the series, this is what is going on in his mind, because this is the ultimate humiliation for him. Because everything that makes him special, everything that makes him bigger, everything that makes him greater than everybody else was taken away from him. And now he's just a peasant. Nobody respects him. Nobody adulates him. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to be close to him. He's done for. And I think this is a worse punishment than death. Because he needs to suffer through this. All the years that he is going to live. That is going to be his humiliation. His punishment is living with this idea. And I don't think in the spirit world they are going to be very happy with him So I think this is an appropriate punishment for the Fire Lord. I think so. Now, our other main villain, Azula. We have seen Azula going down, 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 down in this mental state. And this episode was the final point, because she was defeated. Again, nobody was able to defeat Azula. Not even in group, alone, whatever. She was invincible, in her mind. And that invincibility granted her immunity to be betrayed, because nobody was going to dare to be betrayed. This is something I mentioned in my previous reaction. But obviously, her mental state was decaying thanks to the betrayal of May, thanks to the betrayal of Ty Lee, and that she no longer cannot control the people around her by fear. Because she knows that fear is not the ultimate weapon to wield against anybody. And in the moment that she was defeated by what I assumed, by somebody that is not even a firebender, somebody that is not, in her mind, she's a peasant. Somebody like that? And she was defeated by her? And not only that, she's unable to do anything else. Everything was taken away from her. The respect, the fear, the position of power, the power of bending, because she can bend, but it's not as efficient as the bending with the feet or the ability that she has. Once she realized that everything was gone, that is when her mental state just break, and we saw those tears. I don't think a lot of people is going to feel bad about her within this world, obviously, within the world of Avatar, because yeah, she was relentless, she was cruel, she was a very shitty person. So she knows that she no longer will return to that position of power. Or at least in this moment, that is what she felt. And that is the only moment in which, okay, yeah, she literally break. She was so close to breaking, but that point, that realization, that everything that was fed to her, that she was the best, that she was destined to be great, that she was destined to greatness, was a lie. All her world went down, crumbling down. That was the point of no return for her. Unless something really, really big happens, yeah, I cannot see Azula recovering for that blow. And those were our villains. Fascinating beings, because they were pretty interesting. And once you start to analyze the reactions, their positions, everything that was portrayed in this animation, yeah, they make great villains. They needed to be defeated and honestly even humiliated for it to be satisfying, yes, and they were. This is a point I really enjoy about Avatar, because you want them to see these terrible people to be defeated. You get passion for that, and the story make you passionate about that. Because if you don't feel like, oh, okay, sure, defeat them, yeah, just get over it. So yeah, that is not how you should feel by the end of a series. But obviously with Avatar that wasn't the case. That was amazing. And obviously by the end we saw the ultimate character change from Zuko. Say, okay, yeah, the best thing you could have done was to banish me because I was away from you, and you put me in a position with somebody that will really make me grow. Uncle Iroh make me grow, make me change, make me respect something else, make me realize how terrible of a father you were, how terrible of a raising I was going to be given by you. The vanishing was the best thing, because again, Uncle Iroh, the best influence after the death of his son. Again, this is speculation on behalf, because I don't know how Uncle Iroh was before the defeat. being with Uncle Iroh was the best, because Uncle Iroh was this anchor to reality, anchor to sanity, to mental health that Zuko needed. And in contrast with Azula, who never had that, she was still under the influence of the father. And obviously this is what ended up that moment of complete humiliation for Azula, complete breakdown from Azula. Because she didn't suffer this banishment, she didn't suffer anything like that. She was not able to change, to see another path other than what the father wanted. That is the difference between Azula and Zuko. And obviously the fact that he wants. I think the only point of this story that was not tied up was the mother. If I'm not mistaken, some of you mentioned that this is kind of portrayed in the comics, so I'm going to look for these comics. If you want to help me, yes, please give me a key to where to find them. But yes, is everything coming together? And again, this is a point in which Aang still maintains his humanity, let's say. Yes, the previous avatars could not see another path because they didn't have another path. The only path they have, okay, I guess they cannot energy bend. You need the turtle for that. You need the power of the turtle. I guess that is what the turtle did. They gave the ability to Aang to energy bend. So without this ability, and obviously when they speak with Aang, they have no idea that they could do that. That was the only answer that the previous avatars could give to Aang. Okay, you need to kill him. But now this alternative happens with the turtle, and that is what maintained the point of of Aang being still Aang. And obviously the rest of the cast, we didn't have anything more to say because they didn't grow. The growth was given to them beforehand, before previous episodes. So yes, they did what it needed to be done. We saw the amazing growth of Katara once she started to analyze everything and know exactly how to handle Azula. We saw the growth of Zuko, in which he was able to save the life of Katara. We saw the growth of Toph with the metal bending, and this is something we have seen before. We saw the growth of Sokka with the training with the Master Sword, the Sword Master, and obviously we don't see much growth because we have seen that before, because she was amazing before from Suki, but she was capable of doing amazing stuff too. So yes, this was a great series. This was an amazing series, and I repeat the question for you guys: do you want me to watch the terrible movie, live action movie, to see me suffer for an hour and a half? Yeah, leave a comment below. And if you want me to keep following the Avatar, and in the next step, I don't recall the name of the next Avatar. So yeah, just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And before finishing this video, because yes, I think I'm speaking almost for half an hour about this last episode, there are certain details that I really caught my attention, and I hope you can clarify some of them. If I'm not mistaken, the guy who crowned now Fire Lord Zuko, was the same guy who was loyal to the Avatar and not to the Fire Lord. The guy that really betrayed the Fire Lord in season 1, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was season 1. I think it's the same guy, right? So if he is the same guy, that is amazing, because we redeemed that character and he's still alive, and yes, he deserved that position, man. So yeah, hopefully that is that. What else? There is something else that I have doubts about. Well, with Toph being back with the... Oh yes, I remember now. It was correlated to the Earthbending, but actually it was with the king of the Earth Kingdom. What happened to him? He returned? He is back? I don't know. That is something to clarify here. And yes, I think that's it. I really think that's it. I exhausted the topic of this episode. And as you can see, I don't want to be over because it was a great series. And I want to keep talking about it. But yeah, it's going to be just rambling stupid shit from now on. So yeah, I really exhausted the topic of this episode. I hope you enjoyed my reaction of this final episode, and not only that, my reaction to the previous episodes, to the previous seasons, and my analysis of the episodes that we all saw together. Well, you saw it before me, but you get the point. So yes, I have nothing else but to remind you that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description below, alongside with my Patreon. So yes, I think that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and well, hopefully see you in whatever comes in the future. Bye!
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.